Hi, I'm Lance Culver, and this is going to be a TyFlow 3D Studio Max tutorial. In this video, I will demonstrate how to set up a TyFlow simulation to create a dynamic effect like this. A link to this scene file here will be available in the description, so we can go ahead and get right in. I'm going to go here and create a box. Just want to kind of position it around it. Alright, something like this, it doesn't have to be perfect. Go ahead and select the box and add an edit poly. Select polygon. We want to just attach each side into separate objects. Okay, so I have all the sides of this box separated. I'm going to go over here to the Create tab, TyFlow, drag that out here, go and open Editor. Drag out a birth objects to a new event, and we'll go ahead and rename this event Control. I'm going to select all of the sides of the box I created. Just add selected. I'm going to shut those off. I'm going to drop in a particle groups and set these on simulation group 1. And I'm going to use a rotation. I'm going to change the orientation to look at. And for the object, I'm going to pick the center cube. I'm going to uncheck Effect Particle Shape Orientation. And for the timing, I'm going to set it to On Event Entry. Use a physX shape and a physX bind. And I'm going to change the bind type to rigid joint. And disable the swing settings and the twist settings. And I'm going to disable breakable. Next, I'm going to drop a time test in here. I'm going to change it to 5 frames with 0 variation. And I'm going to drop a split into a new event. Connect that to the time test. And under the percent of new particles, I'm going to say 16.66%, which is 100% divided by the 6 sides of this cube. I'm going to go ahead and select TyFlow and enable simulation group 1 and 2. Hold shift and select this particle groups and drag it over here into a new event. Connect that to the split operator. And I'm going to change this from simulation group 1 to 2. I'm going to drop in a rotation into this event. I'm going to set it to Inherit Previous. Uncheck Effect Particle Shape Orientation. I'm going to change the Z value to 45 and use a 0.1 interpolation and set the timing to continuous. I'm also going to enable filters and add an event age. And I'm going to say if the event is greater than 1 frame, but I'm also going to add another event age. I'm going to say if it is less or equal to 21 frames. So in case you're unfamiliar, there will be a rotation with an interpolation of 0.1 and a value of 45 on the Z-axis. The event age is greater than 1 frame and less than or equal to 21 frames. So my side should turn. What we need is a display operator here. And so we're getting action. So I'll drop in a new time test. Change it to 24 frames with no variation, and I'll say if it is equal to. I'm going to come back over here, hold shift, grab this particle groups, drop it into a new event, connect that event to the time test, and I'm going to grab a send out operator and drop it into this new event, and then take that and connect it to the second event. Hold shift, grab this time test, drop it in here underneath the split operator. I'm going to take a send out and drop it into a new event. I'm going to connect that send out to the second event here, and I'm going to connect this time test to that new event. So now if we play this through, there should be an animation that is dynamic and works right. Create a new event with the birth objects. I will select all of the elements of the Rubik's Cube except for perhaps the center cube and click Add Selected. Turn those off for now, don't need to see them. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and drop a send out operator into this event. I'm going to go ahead and rename this Rubik's Cube. Hold shift and drag this display into a new event, change the color. We'll connect that to the send out. I'm going to drag in a set target. And for the channel, I'm going to select 0. Check link to target. And just leave this static value at 0. Okay, what this set target is going to do is link all of these particles to the particle with birth ID 0, which is one of these. So if we scrub through, we see all of the cubes of the Rubik's Cube are linked to whichever side of the control that has birth ID 0. So we will do a property test. We will search for neighbors. We will say if it's greater or equal to 1 neighbor. I've already figured out this math here, but for this setup here in this scale, it is 16.5 centimeters. And I'm going to have this property test search for neighbors that are only on simulation group 2. I'm going to go ahead and create a new event here, connect it to the property test. Maybe change this color. In this event, I'm going to put a set target. For target, I'll select random. Check link to target. Under the target filters, enable simulation group 2, and then set the timing to continuous. I'm going to use a time test. I'm going to say if it has a greater or equal value than 24 with no variation. Feed that directly into the second event. Okay, this is all but working. The Rubik's Cube needs to be evaluated after the control. Select each one of these events and give them a evaluation priority of 2. If that doesn't work, then go ahead and give the first event here an evaluation priority of 3. And again, just to go over it briefly, when we create this Rubik's Cube flow, send it into this event, we set the target, the particle with the birth ID 0. And then we do a property test and we search to find out if any of these particles has a neighbor that is on simulation group 2. So when the controller starts off for the first 5 frames, all of the particles are on simulation group 1. So as soon as it goes into this event, this split operator will randomly select 16.66% of the particles, which is one side, and it'll send that into this event where it's assigned to simulation group 2. The moment it's assigned to simulation group 2, the property test right here picks up on that, uses the set target operator to link each of those particles that are within 16.5 centimeters to the side of the cube that is on simulation group 2. And then after a time of 24 frames, it's sent back into this event where it's set back onto simulation group 1. And then it's just sent back to start the whole thing over again. The material setup, I just have a multi-sub object. I'll just apply that directly to TyFlow. And in the video it solves itself, I can't solve a real Rubik's Cube, let alone set TyFlow up to do it. So it would turn forever and never solve itself. The way I did that was just let the simulation play out, and then I unhid the actual Rubik's Cube. And I went through there and manually changed the colors of these cubes until I had solved the Rubik's Cube in the TyFlow. Anyway, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch the video. If there was any part of it that you don't understand or that you're having trouble with, feel free to drop a comment below and I will see what I can do to help you out. If you like the video and you're not already, please subscribe. As always, I hope you have a great day and we'll see you next time. Thanks again.